everyone, my name is Camille and this is my channel by Camille where we learn about reselling together. Today I want to bring to you a video about measurements. It's probably the worst part of reselling in my opinion. It's the thing I hate doing. Some people don't like to do the photographs, some people don't like to do the shipping. I just really don't like the measurement part because sometimes if you put it in the listing, they can use it against you, and sometimes if you don't put in the listing, they can use it against you. I've just found that that information is a lot easier just to do at the time of the photographs, so that way it's there and it's available to the buyer, and that is just what I gotta do. It is just helpful information. A lot of times people will ask for that information, and this way you don't have to either ignore the person, which a lot of people do, or dig the item out of your inventory. Measurements, of course, are going to give your buyers a lot of information about how big the item is. Sometimes it can be a little bit confusing in pictures to see the actual scale of an item, so it's really helpful, especially with hard goods. If you're selling stuffed animals and things like that, people want to know how the actual size of the item. So I'm going to show you how to take measurements on a dress, a pair of shorts, and on the top, a pair of shoes, and I'm probably going to grab a few hard goods as well, and let's get on with it. The fabric tape measure is, it's moldable, it's bendable. You don't have to lock it into position like a regular tape measure on a roll. This is just what I prefer to use, and what I like to do is I have all my supplies next to me, so I'll grab my measuring tape, I'll grab a clothespin, and then I clothespin it right to the hanger, and there we go. You see the dress in the picture? Yep. And so then sometimes I'll also grab a clothespin and do that. I'll take the picture of this here so then I can see it in my photo, and I'll leave this picture up in the listing as well. In this case, if I'm doing this full length, I would say the shoulder to hem, or the total length. Or if I'm measuring from the waist, I would say under the waistband here. I don't know how well you can see it on the camera. There's a waistband here. So I would say from the bottom of the waistband to the hem. I like to be pretty descriptive about how I took the measurement and what I'm actually measuring next to the measurement. That way people can visualize that a little bit better. You could say from under the underarm to the hem. So there's different ways that you can take that measurement. Another measurement I would do in this case is the waistband here, the chest or bust measurement right here. So those are measurements that people are typically looking for in a dress. So here I have a basic t-shirt with a v-neck. Typically the measurements that I would do on this, the bust measurement here, or chest, like that. If it's an item like the blazer I'm wearing, you could do the shoulder measurement here. You could do the sleeve length. If the item has like a 3/4 length sleeve, that might be helpful to actually describe how long that is. So you could do this, or again, if it's longer, measure here to the shoulder to the edge of the hem. And then of course you can do the total length here. So some descriptive information that you can use as well when you're putting the measurements is curved hem, because it's going to be a little bit different length along the whole curve. You can say longer in the back, because it's going to be, the measurement might be from the back, which is longer than the front, longer in the back. You can put things like, this is the total length of the sleeve, instead of saying it's a 3/4 sleeve or a half sleeve, because sometimes that might be hard to determine if you're not trying the item on. And then just like items that might have tough measurements, like that someone might want to know, it just depends how much time you want to put into it. If it's a higher end item, that's usually where I spend more time. But for instance, you can measure the length of a slit, or if it has a kick in the back, which is like the little pleat in the back. So here's another good example on a dress where this has a lot of seaming here. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that on camera, but it basically has just some seams here. So I like to measure along these points, and then you can also kind of measure the hips. The hips are a lot wider than the waist, so those are some good measurements or ways to use measurements to show the item and kind of describe it better. So you could say seaming at the waist here, and then, you know, it's fitted and curved through the hips, and that's the measurement for that. Next thing I want to show you is some bottoms. This is a pair of shorts. They're like running shorts. Bottoms measurements you're mostly going to be doing for women's items, because most men's items come with the waist measurement already. That's what the 30, 32, 34 is referring to. It's also considered European sizing. This is the waist measurement here. So I'm going to put my measuring tape down right across the band. It's a little curved, so right across the band, and I get 16 inches. So the expectation is that they're multiplying that by 2, which would make the full width of the item 32 inches. Now, the measurement you also want to do, which would be helpful, is the inseam measurement. So on this pair of shorts, you're basically going to measure from where the seam is for the crotch until the end of the short here. Oops. So you're just going to kind of open those up like this and measure that. I'll do it from the side like this. And so my listing, I will say that the inseam is 8 inches. And the next measurement you want to do is the rise. So the rise is from that same spot in, well, not on these shorts is a little bit different because these don't have a seam right in the middle. But you're going to measure from the seam here to the top of the pant. And that is about 8.5 inches. And so that is how far it comes up on the person's stomach. So that's pretty much all the measurements that I would do for shorts or pants. Again, it would be about the same thing. For pants, you could also measure the opening on the bottom, especially if they are flares or just straight, just kind of to reiterate the style of jean they are, or pants rather. And now I'm going to grab a pair of shoes. So this first one is the high heel. Do it from this point here to this point here. I like to make sure I have a photo of this measurement that I'm taking so that people don't misconstrue it as this measurement. This is the measurement we want. This is where your foot is in the shoe. This is your heel height. So I'm measuring from this arch here to the end, and it's a 2.5 inch height. You could lay it down like that and take the picture from above. That is typically what I would do. And the next one, a boot like this, just measure this nice thick part here, and that's going to be your heel height, which is a little bit more than 1 inch. I would recommend getting some clothespins because they're really helpful for all kinds of different things with clothes. There are clothespins, but I will show you exactly why I like to use them, and you will see and be amazed. I'll lay this down, and my tape measure always moves because of the tail on it. It's being weighed down, and then I can't get just the right measurement. So what I like to do is I take a clothespin and I just clip it right at the end, and that holds it, and then I can take my picture and I'm good. So here are my next two. These are going to be the last ones I'm going to do. These were from a recent video. If you are liking this video, I do hope you'll leave me some feedback below. Give me a like and subscribe if you haven't. I do all kinds of videos, and I love to share education for everyone so that you can learn how to do this as well. And I just think sometimes there are things that are overlooked that might seem obvious or simple, like measurements, when really some people just don't know, and that is what I'm here to teach you. So I picked this up recently. It's a Playboy bunny pillow, plushie, whatever you want to call it, As you can see, it's pretty big compared to me, but they do make mini versions of these, I believe, so it was really important to me in my listing to include the measurement, and I'll show you how I did that. And this similarly as well, this is a baby Dyson vacuum, and next to me it looks teeny tiny, but I want to make sure there was absolutely no confusion with this being a actual Dyson vacuum and its size. So those were important measurements to include as well. So I took the measurement as the full height, the width, and then also the depth here, which is this measurement. So I try to choose the widest point. So here's the widest point, and then this little guy is supposed to be this way. So this is the longest bit of the pillow. And similarly with the Dyson, you can do the measurement this way. You can take the measurement this way. And again, show that in the photograph. You can just put it right next to it like that, so that there is a scale. I know you can't really see that. Okay, yeah, so you can put it right next to it and take the photo from above so that there is a scale for the people to see. Well, thank you so much for watching. I do hope that you found this video useful and helpful in your reselling business. If you did, be sure to give it a like, comment below, let me know what you want to see next, and subscribe. I put out videos every Friday. See you next week.